Okay, so we're waiting for our bacon to cook. I'm going to take this soda can and I'm going to make a lantern. So I have my little pocket knife here. First thing I like to do is just etch a little line in the can. Etch another line. This will all make sense here in a second. Something like that. Okay, so I basically etched the lines of what I'm gonna cut. So this knife has scissors. So I'm going to insert the scissors into one edge of the can. Hope you can see. Now I'm going to just cut towards those lines as much as I can. Yeah, it's going to be kind of primitive looking, but again, we're out in the woods and there's not a lot at our disposal. So I'm cutting here downward. Just like so. Cutting the other line. This is basically going to fold out. And we're going to do the same thing over here. It's a little bit difficult, but nonetheless, it's kind of fun. Okay, these areas that we cut out are basically going to be reflectors for the lantern. Now, one more thing I want to do is I want to take this soda pop tab off here, this piece, and we're going to use this for the bottom of the wick of the lantern. We're going to basically put wax down in here and make a candle in there, and we're going to use this to attach our cordage to. So in my hand I have some bark. What we're going to do is we're going to strip this bark down. We just need a little piece. This is going to be the start of our cordage for our wick. So coming back to the lantern, we've got this part and we have this part. This part is basically going to hold the bottom of this cordage. Then we're going to bend that little tab in. This, my friends, is going to be our wick. So I'm basically going to just braid it into some cordage. Nothing too significant. Okay, very basic, very primitive. Just like so. Let's rip this little piece off. That's going to be our wick for our candle. Okay, now that we have all the bacon out of the pot, it's time to take this wick and dip it into the bacon grease. We'll also hang it to dry or lay it out. Okay, I have a can here, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it somewhere stable. My plan is to pour all the bacon grease into this little pan. Now it's time for me to go do some dishes. Here's the wick of our lantern. I'm going to take the other part of the lantern, and what I want to do is this concave bottom, I want to kind of knock it down a little bit. So I'm going to try to find a small piece of wood that I can use to push it down. I don't want to puncture it, I just want to push it down. So I have something that looks kind of like that. So I'm pushing it down. You also use my thumbs a little bit on the inside. Doesn't have to be that significant. And so that's what we have inside. We've just basically knocked it down a little bit. And the reason we need that is because we want our wick to sit down in that little hole that we made like so. Okay. Now we're going to kind of tuck that wick up against the can on the back side, and now we're going to pour some bacon grease in here. So that's what we have. From here, I'm going to set this down in a nice cool place and let that bacon grease cool and let it solidify, and there's our lantern. Okay, my lantern has had a little time to solidify, so now I'm going to take my scissors and carefully I'm going to just cut this wick so that I have just a small wick in there. And from here I'll just wait and let it continue to solidify a little more. There's the lantern that we made earlier. Puts out a pretty good little flame. I just have it suspended by a tree branch. You could take your thumb up there and kind of bend that piece over the branch if you'd like. That's one way of hanging it. And I'm not too worried about it. Does a good job.